And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another day, another edition of WTL 2023 Winter Round 10, day number 2. Oh my god, we are back with another day here of World Team League. We wrapped up yesterday, of course, with day number 1, and we had a couple of technical issues, and we had some buffering issues and some clean feed issues. But we have been informed that if that does persist today, then we will be getting in game and we will be able to observe ourselves. But here we go in the bottom left hand corner. We have for Team Liquid, it is Cure. Soon. There he there he is. And in the top right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Chinese Protoss player. It is ReWhite's Chin. That's an interesting angle. Aye, Poppy, let's go. ReWhite for Starlight Twinkle, of course, and a big shout out as well to the sponsors of WTL. We were talking about it in the Twitch chat earlier, but a shout out to Doyu, Honkai Star, Taido, and Oreful. Without our lovely sponsors, then, of course, WTL World Team League would not be possible, would not be a thing. So a big, massive shout out indeed as we ease our way into our first game, into our first matchup here. Again, it's going to be Team Liquid versus Starlight Twinkle. We just dove right into the series itself. We have quite a stacked lineup. We have Cure versus ReWhite, Elazer versus Wayne, and Clem versus Nice. We are missing a player. We are missing a regular from Starlight Twinkle, and that is Cham. In the absence of Cham, ReWhite is going to be stepping in. And ReWhite has been doing very well for himself. He has been improving quite a lot over the past year of play. I would say that ReWhite, one of his biggest accomplishments was ReWhite actually took down Showtime maybe 2 months ago at this point in Kung Fu Cup. ReWhite popped off and he just took down Showtime in a PvP, and he didn't even cheese him either. That's the impressive thing. There wasn't even some like crazy cheese or proxy shenanigans. No, straight up, he just knocked out Showtime. It was very impressive. But that was a PvP matchup, and this is something a little bit different. And he's up against arguably the ace player of Team Liquid, so ReWhite. He's got some big shoes to fill to make up for Cham, and he's got quite an opponent ahead of him. Quite an opponent, but I'm ready for it. I am here for it. Again, Team Liquid, they're one of the stronger teams in the league, but Starlight Twinkle, they are not without their own wins. They have, of course, caused their own upsets, and they can bring it here to some of these other big names. I want to believe. For now, we do have a double gas opener here from Cure going into a CC on the high ground, delayed CC. Oh, the probe gets caught! The probe is going to be found. It does get shut down. Ay. Not like this, as we do have Widowmine production back at home. Again, remember, it was a double gas opener from Cure, so he's going for a faster factory. A delayed CC from our blue Terran player as he gets across the map. Just trying to get a read of what's going on, just trying to get a scout on what exactly is occurring. As Reaper does try to dance here with the Adept and does barely escape. In the end, gets one more probe here on the low ground, or gets a probe on the low ground. So a nice pick off here before escaping, before getting the hell out of the main base. As is being pointed out, the Adept did successfully zone away the Reaper. The Reaper did not go into the main, so we don't know if it's a Stargate or a Twilight Council opener. Cure is in the dark as to the follow-up, as to the tech of choice. And he's going to be committing to a mine drop. And hopefully he can avoid the Phoenix. That's the big danger right now for Cure, is he doesn't really know what to be careful of and what to look out for. As the Reaper is going back into the main, Adept is in position, but we dive in anyway. Up! Oh, we did miss a shot, and the Reaper, I believe, got close enough. And yep, there we go. We did barely see that Stargate. We are aware of the potential Phoenixes. Immediately, a Cyclone is on the way. The Cyclone is beautiful defensively. It can shut down Oracles, shut down Phoenixes. It is on the way, and we are still committing to our drop. It's going to be a triple Widowmine drop with 2 Marines. The Marines, they add a little bit of extra DPS here when it comes to focusing down probes. The Marines can do a surprising amount of damage. Meanwhile, the Phoenix comes in on its lonesome. Can't really do much to really deal any damage. We do need a second Phoenix to actually kill any SCVs, and we do get eyes on the production. And we also saw the CC being floated over towards the natural. Again, Cure going for a bit of a later expansion here, but he can make up for it with some worker kills. And here comes Cure right towards that mineral line. Do you have a Phoenix in position? No, never mind. We do avoid it. The mine drop does come in. We do react in time. We do pull away. But again, there are Marines as well as Widow Mines. And the Marines, they do focus down a couple of those probes. The mine shots go off. Oh my god, massive connection in the mineral line. 8 workers go down. The probes, they came back a little bit too soon, and this has more than paid for itself. And one of the mines scuttles away. It's hiding. Not going to be able to hide for much longer, though. But regardless, 3 Widow Mines, 2 Marines for 8 probes. Not too bad. And an Adept as well. And here we go. Cure can now break free. The Phoenixes will force back home, and now we can move out with the Cyclones, with the Viking, as well as the Marines. As we are going to be pushing, reinforcing across the map. Behind this, Cure is getting his natural up and running. He has caught up in workers. Earlier, he was behind because of the delayed CC, but now he is ahead. We're even in workers plus mules. Cure has the better economy. And Cure is going to be moving towards that natural base, towards that third even. Nice pod shots off on that Phoenix. It's going to be focused now. We have 2 Phoenixes left. And we're soon to be down to 1, as it's barely going to be focused down as well. Adepts are doing what they can, but the Cyclone does land. A couple of Marines are going to be rallying on 4. The Viking lands as well. We do barely focus down the Cyclone just in time. But we're pushing up the ramp, and these Adepts are having a lot of trouble. At the same time, Liberator into the main, and where's the anti-air? It's gone at this point. The Phoenix, no, the lock-on is too real. It looks like another Phoenix is going to be going down. We get 5 worker kills in the main base. We have broken on into the into the third base as well, focusing down that Nexus. I believe ReWhite should be able to save this, but he loses the pylon. He lost so much of his army. His Phoenix count was reset. Expensive losses here for ReWhite, and Cure, he's still rallying across the map. And yo, can he force a cancel? It's going to be close. Stalkers are coming in. We do get a lock-on. God, there's just so much DPS potential in that one Cyclone. Forcing back those Stalkers. And it looks like we will get... Oh, we do get 1. We get 2. 2 Stalkers go down. Sure, we have the Cyclone CC'd, but we can't do much else. As another Phoenix barely escapes, we focus down the Stalkers. The Stunner stepping for the Marines. And it looks like, again, ReWhite, he's just losing far too much here. Every single Phoenix goes down. Finally, we clean up that Cyclone. Another Viking arrives, which we can land. We can land. Yeah, we go. Tank rocks up as well. We're getting within range of the production. The Artosis pylon is exposed, and we can depower the robot as well as the gateway. And this is just slowly escalating out of control here. Again, we're just trickling in a handful of units at a time. We focus on another Phoenix. What is that, like 7, 8 dead Phoenixes at this point? Another Stalker. There is no blink. We can't micro back. We cannot blink back. And Cure finally gets cleaned up. I believe ReWhite did hold on to his third. So he does still have his third base. He is still down in workers, though. And what's important, again, the Phoenixes and the Stalkers, their accounts were being reset over and over again. These are units that have to build up over time. They have to build up over the course of this game. They are not cheap to replace, and ReWhite is hurting. He is hurting right now, trying to recover. Cure consolidating his army, and he's working his upgrades. We got +1 attack, +1 defense, stim, combat shields, concussive shell as well on the way for Cure. And all of this is going to be lined up here for one big timing. We also have an armory for +2. So Cure is thinking further ahead. He's getting his third base up and running on location. Cure still has an economic lead, by the way. And ReWhite just now starting up his Colossus. There's a lot of power in a Colossus. There's a lot of power in that splash damage, don't get me wrong. There's potential here for ReWhite to take a better fight. But Colossus on their own are quite fragile. We need something to support. We need something to help bolster that army. And ReWhite is still working on it. Is still working on it. As for now, we do see the army moving out. It looks like we do get eyes on at least the Raven. Ooh, one of those Phoenixes does get picked off. Again, good pick off by Cure. 2-2 on the way. Remember all those upgrades we mentioned before? They've all finished. They've all finished. We have lined them all up. I don't think we have an interference matrix. I think we have the auto turret instead. I'm not entirely certain. So we're going to try to focus down. We get the sentry. Sentry goes down. Tank getting in position. We have a shield battery. We do have an overcharge. The Raven, and there it is. We do indeed have the disable right on the Colossus. We only had only one Colossus, and it can't do anything. We focus down the gateway units one after the other. Overcharge, putting in a lot of work, but it's not going to be enough. There's just too much DPS, too much firepower. The Colossus goes down even under the protection of the overcharge. And we can get the second Colossus as well. GG gets called, and Cure will take game number 1. Whew. GG. A solid game there at a Cure. Powerful performance there as well. You could see ReWhite just struggling to tread water, essentially. He was just trying to stay afloat, keep his head above water. And, I mean, he was for a time, don't get me wrong, but Cure was in control, basically, of that entire game. From the get-go, he was in the driver's seat. He was dictating the pace of the game. and it was ReWhite struggling to keep up. But that was merely game one, and this is a best of two format. Best of two, which means losers pick, and one game is all ReWhite needs to tie things up 1-1 and to fight back against Cure. The question becomes, what kind of map do we go for, and what kind of outlook does ReWhite really want in this kind of matchup and against Cure? I'm going to assume Rad is a station. I'm going to assume that ReWhite wants to get into a longer game, into the mid game, maybe even the late game, and he is going for a wider map, don't get me wrong, but not Radsit. We're going for Hecate. Hecate is up next. Okay, interesting choice here. Again, based on the build, based on the playstyle, to wind it back a little bit, we were focusing a lot on what Cure was doing. ReWhite was attempting to go Phoenix Colossus into a third base. He was attempting to get into an economic opener into a robust mid-game. Wasn't able to pull it off. Hecate is not a bad map to try to go for a similar playstyle. I'm hoping we try to shake things up, but typically ReWhite, he's not really a cheesy player. He's not really one to try to catch you off guard. Kind of more standard macro plays, typically what we expect to be seeing from ReWhite, but we'll see. We shall see. As we're going to be getting into our next game, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have, for Team Liquid, it is Cure. And in the top right, we have his opponent. We have the Chinese Protoss player. For Starlight Twinkle, it is ReWhite. Here we go. Ooh. ReWhite just taking a bit of a swig as we get ready for this. Show us that chin. Oh, don't forget to hydrate everyone. Drink plenty of water as we delve into that second game. Cure, interesting pathing actually. Cure is going to be going the long way around with his scouting SCV. This looks like an eBay block to purposely hide the SCV, does avoid the scouting probe. SCV is going to be sneaking up on that natural base, and we should be looking for that engineering bay block. And we'll see if ReWhite can get eyes on this in time. We'll see if he can try and deny this, as he does not have a second probe on the low ground. Didn't go for the pylon on the low ground either, which means this engineering bay is going to be able to get up and running. I mean, I say up and running. Essentially, you wanted to try to get up to like 99% progression on it, then pull out just in time. It's going to be on Cure to pull out to make sure he does not finish that eBay. And as a result, that's going to be forcing the unnatural natural out of ReWhite. And things can get really chaotic from here. Essentially, oh my god, as we have the SCV block as well. No! Cure being even more annoying, denying that third, and forces ReWhite to delay his expansion even longer as he heads towards the linear base location. And again, the goal here is for Cure to pull him apart early on. We do see a factory before CC. The reasoning for this, Cure is going to be getting into reactor, I believe, Cyclones or Hellions first. Pick your poison. We'll see which one Cure goes for. Basically, hyper-aggression here out of Cure, and his goal is to pull apart his opponent. Cure, he doesn't have to attack the natural. He can go into the main. It's going to be on ReWhite to split up his units and to try to defend both these bases at once, despite them being so far apart. So the pressure is on ReWhite. Pressure is on. It's going to be a Stargate opener. Typical response here. The reason why is, one, with Phoenixes, you can CC Cyclones and Hellions. You can pick them up. And they're also that much more mobile and faster to maneuver between the bases, because it takes a little bit too long to get into Blink. If we rely on Blink Stalkers, again, Blink still takes quite a ways to actually get into with the Twilight Council opener. And again, you can be pulled apart. So Stargate is usually the tech of choice. Cure forcing that out. Meanwhile, Adept does arrive. We do delay the CC on the low ground. Very nicely done. But the Hellions have arrived. We have scattered the Hellions. Bear that in mind. 2 Hellions going to be moving out. We have 2 more behind this. Ooh, and we will be able to focus down at that first Adept. Now, when it comes to some of the math here, it takes 3 Hellion shots to one-shot a probe. So 3 Hellions is the bare minimum you need to start one-shotting workers. And if they line up, you can roast up quite a lot of workers in that mineral line, as Cure is making his way across the map. And again, he has a choice to make. I mean, he can either go for the natural or go for the main. His goal here is for economic damage, as he has joined forces, consolidated his army, and is going straight for the natural. Ooh, Adepts are in position. And we're going to be bypassing those Adepts. Instead, we go straight for that mineral line. We get 2 workers already. We get a third, and we should be able to get a fourth, maybe even more than that. Phoenix has arrived, and with that, we can pick up one of those Hellions, which does reduce that one-shot potential. But that was still 5 workers. 5 workers for 1 Hellion. As the other 3 escape. Oh my god. Just not enough DPS, and the Hellion does make it out. At the same time, 2 more Hellions try to dive into the main, but this time ReWhite, he's in position, picks up one of the Hellions as we're going in for a scout. So this could have been a crippling amount of damage. Thankfully, ReWhite, he does, maintain his losses. Still 5 worker kills, though, is brutal, but now we can go for a big counterattack. Adepts, they have arrived. Cyclone, though, is in position. And with that, we should be able to focus down these Adepts. They do get into the middle line. They get 1. They get 2. 2 SCVs. They delay the eBay. Nah, not too bad. Not too bad here. From ReWhite. Keeps most of the Adepts alive. Meanwhile, Phoenix is going to be threatening the main base, but the Cyclones are in position. Oof. And they do get some hull damage on one of those Phoenixes, but they also get eyes on the follow-up. A very committed follow-up. I don't know if you saw that. That's 3 Raxes, 1 Factory, delayed starport. Oh, good target firing out of Cure. Getting a lot of hull damage done on those Phoenixes. Doesn't kill anything, but they are very battered and bruised. But what did I just mention? 3 Raxes, 1 Factory. That is a delayed starport, which means we are building up a very heavy Marine army initially. We're focusing on just production overall, and we're going to be hitting a timing with the first 2 medevacs. So a very dedicated push is going to be coming out from Cure. As usually you would go for a 1-1-1 follow-up for like scouting information, like a Widowmine drop, for example, things like that. Instead, Cure, he's focusing more on building up his army. He's going to be active a little bit later on the map, but soon we should be seeing an add-on swap. The reactor is being finished on the factory. We should be swapping with the starport to get to the medevacs. The army's preemptively moving out, though, without the medevacs. Bold move. I believe stim is done. We have to be very careful with how and when we stim because there are no medevacs currently with the army. A couple of SCVs are going down, but the Phoenixes are out of position. Cure, he knows. He did just spot the Phoenixes. He knows they're not at home. There's that first stim. Diving into the main base. That was a big stim, though. Not able to DPS down too much. He rushes into the mineral line. The boys are being pulled. Oh my god. And just like that, 19 workers go down, and that is game-ending damage. Even if this army gets cleaned up here and now, it's already done so much. That's 20 dead workers. And now we can focus down those Phoenixes. They were softened up from earlier. 3 of them go down. Big pickoffs. And now we have the reinforcements diving towards that third. It looks like we have been pulled apart. We have a recall, but the recall is too late. We get another 4 workers. And now we can rotate towards that natural. Slow lots to defend. And it's just too much. Again, ReWhite caught with his pants down, and I don't blame him. Again, Cure did attack faster than normal because he chose to attack before he had medevacs. Bit of a Beyond move. Beyond does that very often as well. That is 31 probes dead in total. The Phoenix count was basically reset. I think we have 0 Phoenixes left. And all Cure has to do is survive the counterattack. We got a third CC on the way. +1. Combat shields is done. Concussive shell on the way. Getting into our 5-1-1 setup on 3 bases. 5 Raxes is what I mean. Adept's going to be threading a shade towards that main. But again, we are in position. The wall is looking solid. We commit to the shade. Head into the natural. We will get a couple of SCVs. We have to do whatever we can here to come back in this game. And we're getting some SCV kills, which is nice. 4 workers. But again, that pales in comparison to what Cure was able to accomplish earlier. And now here comes the kill move. This time with medevacs, which means we can stim a little bit more freely. We can sustain ourselves now with the healing potential of those medevacs. We have Marauders as well, not just Marines. So we have a hefty army that can go toe-to-toe with a ground-based composition. With Stalkers, with Adepts, with Zealots. Concussive Shell is done. Again, there's only 1 Phoenix on the map, and it misses the drop. I mean, even if it saw the drop, 1 Phoenix couldn't really do anything. It could not stop this drop anyway. As we go straight for the main base. I see an Artosis pylon, but we go for the mineral line. We can go for whatever we want at this point. There are some Zelts coming in. I believe charge is done. But everything is depowered. The Stargate, the +1. Mine drop into the third. No reaction. 6 workers go down. GG gets called, and Cure will take the series 2-0. Damn. GG. GG, well played. Again, Cure, one of the best Terrans in the world. Anyone would have trouble with him, and Yeah, ReWhite did step up to the plate. Unfortunately, was not able to keep up with the multi-pronged aggression of Cure, or just the aggression in general. And Cure takes a 2-0. A solid start here for Team Liquid. Very solid start. Whew. And that wraps up our first best of 2, but we have plenty more ahead of us. Up next is going to be Elazer versus Wayne in a ZVZ, and specifically in a ZVZ. Mate, this could go either way. Wayne, of course, he is the ace player of Starlight Twinkle. He's one of the best Zerg players in all of Europe. I do want to say that, obviously, when it comes to European Zergs, we have several. We have Raynor as top 2, then just underneath them, you've got Lambo, you've got Elazer, and you have Wayne as well. I would kind of say that they are the top 5 amongst them. Amongst the Europeans. And yeah, Wayne, we have seen him pop off in ZVZ before. We've seen Wayne beat several in ZVZ. So can he take down Elazer? I believe so. But what is the score going to be? Are we going to be seeing a 2-0 in either direction or a 1-1? Predictions in the chat will soon be open. Don't forget, predictions, you don't have a lot of time to place your bets just because games start so quickly. So get ready for that. And think about it for a moment as well. Likewise, Elazer is no slouch. He also has quite powerful, quite formidable ZVZ of his own. But I do think this is going to be a closer series overall. Cure versus ReWhite, there was a little bit more of a skill gap there. There definitely was. When it comes to Elazer and Wayne, a little bit less so. A little bit less so. I do think that overall Elazer is slightly favored. That is true. But Wayne can fight back. He can punch up. He can take it to the best of the Zerg players in Europe. And it looks like we are getting into it. Our players are getting ready. Lobby is being made. And we have a look, a gander, at some of that ELO. Some of them stats here for our players. Oh, beautiful. The ZVZs are upon us. And this is the opportunity that Starlight Twinkle needs to start putting some points on the board and make a series out of this. They are currently at a 2-0 deficit. For those that are curious, this is a best of 7 overall. So first team to 4 wins will take the series. 4 wins is all you need. Of course, Wayne has to avoid the 2-0 as well to make sure that his teammate Nice has a chance as well. As it looks like game number 1 is going to be on Site Delta. Here we go. Site Delta is going to be up next. Meanwhile, big shout out to some of the people in the chat. Kronos, thank you so much. 감사합니다. 안녕하세요, Kronos. Oh my god, thank you so much for resubscribing for 6 months, half a year. Thank you. Thank you so much for the support. We do appreciate it. Always do appreciate it. Gracias, gracias. Oh. So just catching up as well in the chat. Everything that's been going on. Zergburger. 007. Interesting code name. But here we go. We're loading on in and sporting in the top left-hand corner of Site Delta. We have Elazer for Team Liquid. And in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have Wayne for Starlight Twinkle. Here we go. Here we go. Again, if you're in the chat, predictions are going to close in a couple of seconds. So place your bets on how you think this matchup will unfold. 2-0 in either direction or a 1-1 score. As a reminder, it's a best of 2, so 1-1s are also possible as well. Also a viable option. As for now, Elazer is going to be going for a hatch first. So is Wayne. For the time being, everything is on the up and up. Again, we are on Site Delta. Site Delta has a bit of a longer rush distance by ground compared to some of these other smaller maps like your Oceanborns, your Golden Auras, your Hard Leads, for example. So going for early pool timings, a little bit less effective here on Site Delta. Likewise, another important thing to point out, as Elazer is going for a hatch gas pool, so is Wayne, is we do have a ramp leading into the natural. This is one of the few maps in the map pool that actually has a ramp into the natural. The other one is Radset Station. Because of this, you do have a little bit of extra defender's advantage, which means if you did want to open up 2 base, this is not a bad map to do it on. If you want to open up 2 base and go into like Muta play or try to go for something to catch your opponent off guard, it is something to bear in mind and something that you can think about. Otherwise, we could just be seeing some standard play, which I wouldn't be opposed to. You know, we get our 3rd bases up and running, Bailey nests are thrown down, and we can get into some Ling Bane aggression. We'll see. We shall see. Again, our players here, they have had a pretty intense weekend. We just wrapped up with the IEM Europe qualifiers earlier today. I mean, I say earlier today, like 12 hours ago, which I think was yesterday, depending on where you are in the world. But yeah, we were casting the IEM Katowice European closed qualifiers earlier, and it was intense. It was a long broadcast as well. It was 6 hours. It was a 6-hour long qualifier. Went the distance. So many ace matches, so many game fives. If you missed out, I highly recommend checking out the VODs. We had an amazing time, and it was beautiful. It was beautiful. Upsets were had, you know, memories were made. And we are that much closer to confirm which players make it to Poland next year, which players make it to IEM Katowice. Again, the Americas qualifier is 12 hours from now, actually. In 12 hours' time, we're going to be live here on this channel covering the Americas open server qualifier. Bearing in mind the word that I just used, it is open to all regions. So even if some of your favorite players from Korea or from Europe didn't qualify last night, they still have another chance in the Americas open server qualifiers, because the qualifiers are open to all regions. You know, they are server based but open to all regions. Because they're server based, it does mean that some players will be playing with worse ping than others. I believe the Americans get advantage and they get prioritization. But as I get into that, we are going to be cutting workers. We have 16 links on the way for Elazer. Likewise, safety Bailey Nest on the way for Wayne. Elazer skipping his own Bailey Nest, just flooding links across the map. It's going to be on Wayne to defend. He needs to morph these Bailings as quickly as possible. Up until now, everything was normal. We were taking our third bases, but again, Elazer has chosen violence. He has chosen to skip that Bailey Nest to just double down. It's going to be close here. It's going to be very close. We cannot waste these Bailings for Wayne. As additional lings are on the way, that hatchery taking a lot of damage. Oh, and it looks like we may force a cancel. No, we finish it, and it's going to be killed. A big loss there. That's a kill on the hatchery. Ay, ay, ay. One Bailing got wasted as well. We have one Bailing left. And now Wayne, he's on the back foot. He is technically up in tech because the Elazer doesn't have Bailings available. No! But Wayne, he's out of position, and the Queens! Oh, they do get surrounded. One of them does. Bailing rolls in. We do zone back Elazer. Wayne, he holds onto his Queens, but again, he's at a disadvantage. Elazer just now starts up his own Bailing Nest. Still needs time, though. Again, there's going to be a period here. There's a window where Elazer has to defend with pure Ling, and his opponent is going to have that Bailing advantage. But Wayne is droning. He droned up for a moment. Now making more Lings. But it looks like, yeah, Wayne is going to try and turtle on 2 bases. I mean, I say turtle on 2 bases. He's retaking his third base, but he's throwing down the Roach Warren. Looks like he's done with Ling Bane. Obviously, he has to defend with it, but it looks like he's not really looking to apply too much or to commit across the map. As he tries to move out, but Elazer, he has eyes on him. Yeah, he forces back those Lings. Yeah, now here we go. The Bailiness for Elazer is done. Bailings are on the way. And Wayne is in some trouble. We can't waste them. One Bailing goes off. We have 2 left. We do have 2 left. The Bailings of Elazer waddling into the mineral line as well. Trying to connect with those Lings. Another Bailing of Wayne does go off. He has 1 left. 1 Bailing remaining. The Queen's getting surrounded. It looks like Elazer may just have too much. Yeah, he has too much at this point. There are no Bailings left for Wayne. The natural base has been compromised. We bust into the mineral line. And it looks like we will take out the workers. Massive connections. 13, 14 dead workers here. We're trying to get into Roach production, but we're just taking too many economic losses. Massive connection in the main. It takes 2 Bailings to kill workers. Meanwhile, at the same time, Wayne, he also busts into the natural. Wayne, he's not taking this lying down. He's also dealing some counter damage, but I spoke too soon because the reinforcements arrive, and Wayne is forced out of the natural base of Elazer. Ay, ay, ay. He forces lost mining time. He's all in at this point. Roaches are waddling across the map. Now, Wayne does have a supply lead. He does have an army supply lead specifically. There's potential with these Roaches. He has 1 Bailing. We can't waste it. Oh my god. Oh, it is going to be targeted down. Good target firing there from Elazer. Another Bailing has completed. Wayne, he's gaining ground. He takes down a Queen. Good connection. Good Bailing connection. Going for another Queen as well. Oh, but again, we have the defender's advantage. Elazer, he's trickling in with reinforcements. Additional Queens, additional Roaches. Wayne trying to dive on this. The boys are being pulled. Spinecrawler does finish. And it looks like Elazer, he does hold on to his third. He forces back the army. Biles will kind of connect. League reinforcements are coming in, but it looks like Wayne is running out of steam. GG gets called, and Elazer will take game number 1. GG. Oh my god. Elazer a little bit stressed out about that game, but for the most part, he was in control. And yeah, just really well done with his first Link Flood. His first Link Flood basically set him ahead. If you remember, he wasn't able to kill any workers with his first Link Flood, but he did kill the third base. He killed the third base, and suddenly Wayne was on the back foot. He also killed the Queen. He was able to trade against Lings, avoid big Baneling connections. And Elazer, sure, he went for a delayed Baneling nest, but he got it in time. He got it up and running in time to deal with Wayne, and in the end, Elazer was in the driver's seat. Wayne playing from behind from almost the beginning there. The pressure was on. Ooh, and with that, Wayne, he's going to be fighting here for his team's survival in this series. One more loss, and Team Liquid will take it. Wayne has to win here and now, again, to give his teammate Nice a chance. And I want to believe, again, it's a loser's pick. It's going to be Wayne's map of choice, and he's going for Hecate as game number 2. He is going for Hecate. Again, a bit of a wider map here. I believe shorter rush distance than Site Delta, if I'm not mistaken, if not by a couple of seconds. But if Wayne wants to be aggressive, I don't think this would be the map to do it on anyway, as we're going to be loading on in. And in the top right-hand corner of Hecate, we have, for Team Liquid, Elazer. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have, for Starlight Twinkle, Wayne. I love how, obviously, I'm pretty sure they're in slightly different time zones, but not by that much. I love the contrast here, where like we have the brightly lit room of Elazer, and we have Wayne in the smudge. He's embracing the darkness. Let's go. Drawing the curtains, making sure the sunlight does not enter the room. It's gaming hours, Bobby. It's time to game. I can vibe with it. I like it. Here we go. For now, hatch gas pool openers from both players. Hatch first is what I was trying to go for, and yeah, everything's looking normal. Again, I don't think Hecate would have been the best map to go for something more aggressive like a faster gas or a faster spawning pool, so standard openers all around. Curious how Wayne wants to approach this. I'm sure after that last game, Wayne does want to be aggressive. You don't have to go gas first to be aggressive in this game. You can cut workers. As we saw last game, you can even cut the Baneling nest and go for a Link Flood. Or even try to get into a fast Evo chamber for +1 carapace. There are options. There are options available here for Wayne. Meanwhile, Elazer, I'm sure he's feeling pretty comfortable. Remember, Wayne is the ace player. Wayne, he's the best player on his team, so for Elazer to take one game, he's already done his job. He's already done the bare minimum he needed to do here for Team Liquid. But he could do even more than that. As the Overlord is going to be getting across map, just confirming, of course, the hatch first. Confirming the hatch timing. We are going to be joining on up. And this time I'll focus a little bit more on the game. last game I was on a bit of a tirade about IM Katowice and then talking about like qualifiers and all that stuff. I was a little bit distracted. Took me a moment to realize what was happening. But this time we'll focus. It's all good. As for now, third base is on the way. Lings are moving out to scout to get eyes on our opposing player. And everything is still looking quite normal so far. Third bases are on time, we're droning, making a handful of Lings here and there for either player just to defend, just to be safe. And we should soon be seeing Baneling nest as well. Baneling should soon be on the way. Lings of Wayne do get across the map. There's a Baneling nest from Elazer, and we should soon be seeing the same from Wayne. As for now, he does have an extra pair of Lings back at home, and we have additional Lings on the way. Other turns tabling. Not quite. For a moment there, I was like, are we just going to be banking up Lings and going for a Link Flood? But no, we do throw out the Baneling nest. We do squeeze out a couple of drones. It does look like Wayne does want to be the aggressor though. He invests once again into 10 more Lings. So a bit of a role reversal. Elazer is going to be defending. Wayne is going to be attacking. And we'll see if Elazer can hold on to his third. And hold on to his mineral line. Queens are going to be waddling out. Banelings are on the way for Elazer. Again, the nets was a little bit faster. Two of them in production behind the Queens. Hatchery is taking a lot of damage. But here we go. We dive on top of the army. We dive on top of the queens as well. We do get a decent round on one of them with Banelings. They do arrive just in time. They zone Wayne back. Well, we did have a Ling slip into the main base, but wasn't able to deal enough damage. Banelings now on the way from Wayne. Oh my god. As he does try to split up his Lings. Does try to trigger some of those Banelings. Roach Warren is on the way for Wayne as well, taking up quite quickly behind this. Still trying to find some damage. It looks like he will get one queen. Good connection, and it looks like he barely will get a second queen as well. Nice pickoffs here from Wayne. Oh, decent Bailing as well. Not amazing, but good enough. I think that was like, what, 5, 6 Lings? Good trades. Good trades from Wayne. He backs off. Sure, he didn't deal game-ending damage or crippling damage like killing a mineral line or killing the third base, but he killed 2 queens and he traded efficiently with his Bailings. So a good start here from Wayne. Behind this, both players, they drone up to 34. Roaches are on the way. Elazer is one step behind when it comes to his Roach timing. Meanwhile, oof, oh my god. We do made out 2 for 1. 2 Lings for 1 Bailing. Pretty good trades here for Wayne. Once again, very meticulous control, splitting up a couple of Lings. He does get another Bailing. Very nice trades. Does lose a Bailing of his own. Ooh, meanwhile, Elazer, he slips in. Roaches are pushing out, but there are 2 Bailings in the main base of Wayne. He doesn't see, he doesn't know. And he may be forced all in. Depending on how many workers go down, that may just force Wayne to pull the trigger. Let's see, we got the Bailings are waddling into that mineral line. Roaches is moving out. No reaction. No. 9 workers go down. A massive connection. Elazer far ahead in the economy. And now Wayne, he has to counterattack. He has to push in. He has to make something happen. Behind this, Lair's on the way. Roaches are arriving for Wayne. Likewise, Elazer, we have 2 spine crawlers on the way. One at the third, one at the natural. Elazer taking this very seriously. He knows how far ahead he is. He knows all he has to do is survive, defend, and then he'll be ahead. Or he is ahead. And we're just pointing out here, the spine crawlers are in production. Wayne, he sees the defensive line. He backs off. A very mature decision, but a tough pill to swallow here for Wayne, because he knows that he's behind in the worker count. He has to try to catch up. He also knows that he invested into all these roaches and it hasn't really paid off. Wise, oh, like really crisp move here from Elazer. He saw the army turn back, so he cancels all the spine crawlers. Elazer, he saves his resources, cancels the spines, gets the refund, and doubles down on droning. Elazer saturating his third. We do have a couple of Bailings waddling into that third base. Oh, no! They're trying to get in, and it looks like, we may have an observer lagging out of the game there. So it looks like we have a little bit of latency issues going on. Ooh, and we do need a moment to resolve them. This is not the time, though. Again, Wayne, he was just in the middle of waddling in with 2 Bailings, waddling into that mineral line. He was on the way. Not like this. But yeah, we are just looking to resolve this, whether it comes to reconnecting the observer or removing the observer. I believe there are 2 observers in the game, which is why sometimes I have picture-in-picture. So we should be able to get back into it. Oh. But yeah, really tense moment. To wind it back a little bit for some greater context of what's going on, right now, again, Elazer does have the economic lead. Both players are working towards Roach Ravager, no longer Ling Bane. There's a lot of pressure on Wayne at the moment to try to kill some workers, though, and that's why a lot of emphasis is being put on those 2 Bailings that are just now waddling into that mineral line. It does look like the Queen is DPSing them down, though, and I don't know if we're going to get the best connections there. And again, Elazer is just looking to saturate his third and just max out on roaches. That's kind of where both players are progressing at the moment. I'm not quite sure when it comes to Evo Chamber upgrades. I wasn't able to get a glimpse on that, whether anyone has a big advantage on that or not. That could be impactful as well, as the game is going to be settling down and the players are just going to be amassing roaches. Otherwise, we're just chilling to the music. Chilling to the music, papi. It's arguably too chill. Arguably. But yeah, for everyone that's tuning in, again, I hope everyone's enjoying themselves. Hope everyone is enjoying WTL. We do cast it every single week, every single edition of World Team League here on the CranKy Ducklings. I did notice that I think some of the other community casters aren't casting today. Hope everything's okay, but they may be tired because I mean we were all casting IM Katowice yesterday, but they may be tired or maybe they have something else going on. But I believe typically Wardy and Rotterdam are also casting in English, but I believe yeah they're elsewhere at the moment. They could also be traveling. I know DreamHack Atlanta is next week. So I don't know when people are traveling for that, because this year, the casters are going to be casting offline. They're going to be there at the event, and it was very contentious, and it was very it wasn't good. It was it was scandalous. This is a word that I'm looking for, but yeah, last year, the casters were actually covering the event from the ESL studio. I think it was in Sweden or in a different studio in Europe. Essentially, they weren't actually at the event live, which yeah was a little bit lackluster. It did take a little bit of excitement out of it, but it did take a little bit of excitement out of the broadcast and out of the feeling of DreamHack Atlanta last year. But this year, we do have confirmation that they will be there at the event. But that also means that a lot of those casters, they're going to be traveling soon. They're going to be flying over, and yeah, that's something to bear in mind. Woke up at 4 a.m. Time to watch some WTO. The passion, Bobby, the passion. But he sounded like he wanted some time off. Yeah, it makes sense, especially if they're going to be traveling soon, and you know the plane ride from Europe to the Americas is a little bit of a longer one, so it does make sense if they want to take some time off in preparation for DreamHack Atlanta, which is next weekend. It's less than a week from now. Less than a week. As it looks like we're going to be resuming from replay. It looks like the Observer did lag out, and we're going to have to try to remake and recover the game from replay. Which is brutal. It's brutal just because like that was a very specific moment that is gonna have to be replayed, and oh boy. Again, we'll see if Elazer is gonna be able to react in time, and we're gonna be able to get into the rest of the ZVZ. And as we get into the rest of the ZVZ, a big shout out to Papi. A big shout out to the Polish Protoss player Iba Kappa, Papi Kappa. I did see that you were main racing earlier. You were laddering, streaming. Hope you had a good time. Hope you had a good ladder session. Hope you enjoyed yourself. For those that are tuning in, welcome to World Team League. And here we go. We are diving back in. Getting back into our game. And it looks like we may have missed a little bit actually. Because things have progressed. We have a Spire on the way for Wayne. He's droning up. He's taking all of his gases. Likewise, Elazer also working towards his towards his lair as well. Aggression has subsided. Elazer still has a worker lead. Lair is on the way. Papi, ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás, Lorimbo, papi? Oh, it's good to see you. Good to see you. I mean, I say it's good to see you, mate. Where were you for the IM Katowice qualifiers? I didn't see you on the bracket. Maybe I'm blind. I didn't see Lorimbo in the bracket. Shaking my head. As things are going to be coming in for a bit of harass. It looks like 3 workers are going to be targeted down. Nice pickups from Wayne. Very necessary pickups. Just because of the early game earlier. The early game previously. Behind this, mutas are on the way. Elazer blindly going into his Hydra Den. I mean, he may have seen the gases, may be able to piece together what exactly is going on. Very fortunate here to be working towards those Hydras. To have that anti-air ready. Meanwhile, Overseer Scott's going to be coming in from Wayne. He's going to get eyes on the tech, on the Hydra Den as well. He's going to know not to commit too hard to these mutas. Going to be aware that anti-air is in production. Lings go for their own counterattack. Mutas have been revealed to the Lings. So now Elazer has confirmation. And we're going to be focusing on killing Overlords at this point. The bailing drops! No! Massive connections. 14 drones go down. Basically the entire mineral line. Ay. Elazer already had an economic lead, and now it's going to be even greater here. That's 14 dead workers. Mutas, they will gain map control. They do shut down the Overlords at least. They can even threaten some of these drones. But the Hydras are in production. And Wayne is doubling down. Roaches are amassing for both players. Very important here that Elazer isn't neglecting his own Roach army. They do clash. Again, 1-1 is done for both players. Elazer is working on +2, working on Hydra speed. He will soon have an upgrade advantage. Meanwhile, Wayne is not redroning. Bear that in mind. He lost all those workers at his third, and he hasn't replaced them. Still at sub 3 base saturation. Mutas, they get behind the middle line. 1 muta, 2 mutas go down. Not like this. The Hydra Den stands strong. But Wayne catching Elazer a little bit out of position, going for the hatchery. He will get a kill on that base. Gonna be backing up. Oh, even supply blocking Elazer. The Elazer Lords. As Wayne is gonna back off, he's gonna pivot away, rotate around, head towards another base. Mutas are still being active. Contamination on the Hydra Den. Let's go. Delaying Hydra speed for that much longer. But there's going to be a window. There's going to be a timing here where Elazer has +2, his opponent does not. From here, we can also tech up into Lurkers. Elazer, for now, contend with Hydra Roach. Does meet up with the movement. Does keep up with the movement. But that's a lot of Roaches. And Wayne, he's sending it. Again, Wayne, he is up in army supply. Forcing his way up the ramp in towards that 4th base. Oh, we do have the concave, though. Files are going to be connecting. Decent connections, but Wayne, he's just bleeding out a little bit too much. Being forced back. Yeah, losing 26 Roaches there in that exchange. And the longer this goes on, the better it's going to be for Elazer. He's catching some Overlords. No! Bit of a misrally. Overlords, they wander into their deaths. +2, finishing up here for Elazer. And still a ways away for Wayne. Again, we can't attack now, not here. Elazer trying to set up a surround. Coming in from behind. Is going to be spotted by Wayne. Does see with his Overlords. He does get supply blocked. Meanwhile, these mutas, quite a nuisance here for Elazer. Still wreaking havoc. Getting a couple of drones here and there. Getting 2 workers. 3 drones even. +2 still on the way for Wayne. Meanwhile, Elazer, he has a free supply to just go across the map, go for a big counterattack. And he does hit the 5th. Hit the 4th even. 4th base of Wayne. Actually, he leaves it alone. He's going straight for the worker count instead. He's going for the mineral line. He ignores the hatchery, goes for the drones. And workers are getting picked off. Wayne was already down in the economy earlier, and alas, even more so now. This forces back the entire army of Wayne, and now Elazer can push. Catching more Overlords in the center of the map. Can't quite push up the ramp, but again, he's looking to supply block his opponent. Oh, the Roaches are still not dealt with. No! 10 workers going down. It's a numbers game at this point. Wayne, he just doesn't have enough. He can't protect his ramps. He can't defend all these entry points, and it looks like we are getting up the ramp. We're closing in on this 3rd base. From all sides, from all angles, Papi. Ay, ay, ay. Wayne does have the defender's advantage. He's trickling in with a couple more Roaches. It looks like he may be barely holding on, but here come the reinforcements of Elazer. As Wayne barely does hold. But for how much longer? And there it is. GG gets called, and Elazer will take the series 2-0, securing the win here for Team Liquid. GG. GG, well played. Unfortunate that there were a little bit of technical issues in this best of 2, which may have affected the mindset of some of our players, but regardless, really solid play there out of Elazer. Again, both players were kind of keeping up with each other, but Elazer every now and then would just be able to slip in or sneak in and deal some economic damage, whether it's with the Bane Dropper Lords, the Roach counterattacks, the Ling Bane. Elazer was able to get ahead in that way and kind of force the aggression and force the commitments out of Wayne. GG. GG, well played. With that, we have one best of 2 left. Now, on the one hand, it's a best of 7, and Team Liquid, they will win this series. Don't get me wrong, they will win. But we will still play out Clem versus Nice. There's a little bit less on the line, but the map scores can affect overall standings for both Team Liquid and SLT and Starlight Twinkle. So there is still, again, something to be fought for, and something on the line here for both these players. And we'll see how this does conclude. Clem, the best Terran player in Europe, but we have seen Clem fall to Protoss players before. You know, we've seen Firefly take him down. We've seen Jeshi take him down. They've done it before. Can Nice keep up with them? Can he also do the same and take some maps, even take a 2-0 off of Clem? I wouldn't say impossible. Unlikely, but not impossible. So we'll see. We're going to be going on a short break. When we return, we'll have our final best of 2 of this Team League match. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Ooh, hope you enjoyed that break. Hope you took a moment to get some water, get some snacks, because we have returned with our final best of 2 here between Team Liquid and Starlight Twinkle. It's been a rough series here for the Twinkles, for Starlight, but we are here to fight back, to put a point on the board. We have returned with Clem versus Nice. And here we go in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn. We have the French Terran player. It is Clem for Team Liquid. And in the bottom right, we have his opponent. We have the Taiwanese Protoss. Nice for Starlight Twinkle. Here we go. The TVPs are upon us. And on the one hand, you could argue that maybe there's a little bit less pressure on Nice because his series here won't necessarily influence the overall kind of the overall outcome of whether or not his team can make it through or not. So now Nice, he can play with a little bit less pressure on him. Play to his heart's content, and I want to believe that he can make Clem work for it. I do want to believe. But here we go. Clem is still coming in as the favorite player. Was, of course, playing all of last night in the IEM Katowice qualifiers. We didn't get to cast Clem last night. We were following other players like Diego and Classic and some of these other players instead. But regardless, Clem, he did qualify for IEM Katowice. So he had a very successful night last night, and we'll see if he can continue that success here against Nice. We shall see. For now, though, we're getting into our openers. Nice going for the Gate Cyber Expand. Very standard opener here from our Protoss player. Likewise, Clem back at home. It looks like he's going for a Rax Expand as well. Has taken a single gas geyser. Hasn't gone for the second gas in his main. So very economic opener from our Terran. Important to point out, just because double gas openers have risen a little bit in popularity recently, just because of just because of how aggressive you can be with the new Cyclone and how assertive you can be. We've seen the rise in popularity of these like double factory one base all-ins, but alas, we see that is not the case here for Clem, not yet at least. It's the best of 2. Plenty of games are ahead of us. But now SV comes in, confirms the timing of the Nexus, and gets the hell out of there. As Clem is getting into his opener. Reaper's on the way. We've yet to determine the tech of choice for Nice. And there it is, thrown down behind the middle line. It is going to be a Stargate, not a Twilight Council. Okay. I'm here for it. I'm ready for it. We do have the Reaper patrolling outside the Natural. Ooh, does spot the Adept moving out, which means we can move in. Clem, he dips into the main base. Adept is out of position, which means we get a full scout. We do get eyes on the Stargate. Clem sees everything he needs to. There's a shield battery, which means he can't really kill any workers, but at least we do confirm what is happening. Meanwhile, the Adept does get across the map, but the CC finishes up just in time. CC is complete. We cannot delay. We cannot deny. The Adept tries to get a bit of extra scouting information. We commit to the shade, which means we see the factory behind this. Very important scout. Confirming that it's not something crazy like a 3-rack, for example. That there is that factory. Oh, as it looks like the Adept is gonna be hunted down by the Reaper. Ay, ay, ay. Nice pick off from Clem. Very nice trade. Behind this, he's getting into a 1-1-1. Cyclone production has commenced. We're getting to a starport as well. I don't believe we're going for an add-on swap. With this, we can go for a fast medevac and go for some drop play across the map. And there it is. There's the medevac. And here comes the drop play. So again, we have seen a lot of Terran players in recent times be very aggressive with their Cyclones. There's a lot of potential for damage. Meanwhile, it's going to be a Stargate opener into... Oh, no shot! We force the activation of the Pulsar Beam. We waste a lot of energy here. It looks like we will get a kill on the Hellion. That is a lot of energy wasted. And again, we are going to be needing that because the Cyclone's going to be on the way. I was about to say that, again, Cyclone openers, like, they do so well against things like Oracles and Phoenixes. And we did, of course, confirm the Oracle opener. We catch it! No! No shot! The Oracle gets shut down. Only killed a Hellion. Does get the Revelation off, but that is a big pick off. And now Clem, he's moving out across the map. Meanwhile, Nice back at home. It was a Stargate opener, Oracle first into Blink. This is brutal. This is going to be a very delayed Blink. It means that he's stuck with vanilla units. He doesn't have any Phoenixes. Doesn't really have much of a presence here on the map. He has 3 vanilla Stalkers. We'll see if he can hold. We'll see if Nice can survive here. As the army rocks up. Interesting. Instead of committing to a frontal assault, Clem going for a drop into the main. He's going to try to pull apart the attention of Nice. He's got Cyclones to threaten the third base. Drop into the main. And Nice has 5 Stalkers to defend, and he has to split them up. He does have to split them up, so his drop does come in. We go for the mineral line. Boys, they're being pulled. We're focusing on the shield battery. Shield battery is going to go down. No overcharge either. The Stalkers, they all come into the main, which means the throat is exposed. Workers are going down. Shield battery is going to be falling. Oh, and Nice is being pulled apart. He does end up losing one of those Stalkers. Blink, not quite done. The medevac does escape. Recalling down to the third. I'm loving the use of recall here. To try to hold on, minimize his losses. He will get on top of these Cyclones. Both Cyclones are going to go down. At the same time, we get a drop into the natural, and the Liberator rocks up as well. We have the Freedom. And we liberate 10 of those probes. 11, 12, 13. That's already too much at this point. 13. Oh my god, even more here in the main. As we're not done, 3 Marines is all that we had left. We get 18 worker kills in total. An insane amount of economic damage, not just that, but also killing some of the Stalkers, the shield batteries, the pylons. Clem backs off. He's going to be consolidating his army. He's not all in behind this. He's working on a 3rd CC. Stim, combat shields +1. The pressure is now on Nice. Now, he does have Blink. Bear that in mind. He does have Blink. And if he gets high ground vision, he can maybe try to dive into the main. But that's a big if. As the Stalkers do rock up. Bunker is done. We do pick off a couple of Marines. Stim isn't done, by the way, so it's a little bit difficult for Clem to commit. Adept does commit to the Shade. Does get blocked. The Adept goes down, and Clem's going to be holding. Does lose on Marauder. Good pick off here from Nice. Good blinks as well, not losing anything. He's trading as best he can with what he has. But alas, with the arrival of this tank, this natural base is under no threat. And Nice is just trying to just probe up as best he can, making 3 workers at a time. Oof. Losing a Stalker there to the tank. Behind this, we can see that Nice is trying to get into some splash damage. We have a Robotics Bay on the way, just now started, to get into Colossus or Disruptors. I imagine Colossi. But the reality is that Clem is going to be pushing before the first Colossus arrives. This is going to be a tough hold for Nice. We have Stim, we have Combat Shields. +1 attack is going to finish up just in time for the attack. Liberator arrives, takes down a Stalker. Oh, every Stalker does count. Because Concussive Shell also going to finish up in time for this assault as well. The tanks, they are going to be sieging, getting within range of the wall. Again, the Robotics may just finish up. We still don't have a Colossus. Without it, we only have these Blink Stalkers to do properly overcharge. Overcharge doing what it can. We do pull back the tanks, and the Stalkers are going down one after the other. GG gets called, and Clem snowballs out of control, taking game number 1. Oh, he's drinking coffee. Oh. Let's go. GG, well played. A very solid game there out of Clem, and just a couple of missteps and a couple of mistakes there early on from Nice. Losing the first Oracle was pretty huge. He would have had a much easier defense, or just a slightly better time holding on against his aggression if he had been able to preserve that. Likewise, Clem achieved so much with that aggression. Remember, it was 2 Cyclones, a Reaper, and 1 medevac full of Marines, and he dealt an insane amount of damage with that. Did so much, achieved so much, and from that moment, he was ahead. He was in the driver's seat. Nice was playing catch up, and now we're getting into game number 2. And this shouldn't really be a surprise to too many people. It is Nice's map of choice. There are no vetoes in this format, and Radizet Station is chosen. Let's go. We wouldn't see it otherwise, as Radizet Station is notorious for its features and notorious for its advantages and disadvantages. We get very unique games. Very unique games are held here on Radizet Station, which is what I love about it. Fun fact, if you weren't here yesterday, I highly recommend checking out the VODs. We casted Hearthstone versus Maru, and Maru went mass BC against Hearthstone going Skytoss. On this map, it was beautiful. As we get into this, in the bottom left, we have Clem. In the top right for Starlight Twinkle, it is Nice. Let's go. Game number 2. But again, last night in WTL, we casted Shopify Rebellion versus Onside, and I believe it was Hearthstone's map of choice, and he chose Radizet Station, and we had a wild game on this map. Again, just Maru just taking full advantage of it, just embracing the nonsense that is Radizet Station, just embracing it full-heartedly and going into triple BC production, and it was something, a sight to behold, is what I should say. A very unique game, something that we don't get to see too often. So I do recommend the VOD. It was beautiful, it was crazy, everything you want in a Terran versus Protoss. And it's a lot to live up to. It's a lot to live up to. We'll see if Nice versus Clem can do so. And what I mean by that is I'm curious how Nice approaches this. This is his map of choice. We have seen Nice rush into Skytoss on this map before. I think he did it against Cyril when Starlight played against Basilisk a couple of weeks ago. To be fair, that's a different matchup. To be fair, rushing into Skytoss against Zerg is a lot more commonplace. But we'll see if we get that here against Clem. Likewise, I'm curious if Clem embraces the economy or the amount of corners that you can cut on this map, or if he goes all in. I mentioned this yesterday, but essentially on Radizet Station, you can do one of two things. You can be extremely greedy or extremely aggressive to try to catch the opponent that's being greedy and punish the greed. So one of two ways, two extremes basically on Radizet Station. But now it's going to be a Rax Expand out of Clem, standard economic opener. We can see Nice already working on those mineral patches, looking to take a fast third Nexus, as he did go for a Gate Cyber Expand. And we have our tech of choice. It is going to be the Stargate. The first step to Skytoss. I'm all for it. I am all for it. I see the chat. I like how someone else noticed what I noticed as well. Is that a mustache? Earlier, we've been getting some close-ups of Clem, and I did notice that Clem has been growing out his facial hair. I don't know if you noticed, not just his mustache, but also his beard. Like there's a little bit of facial hair underneath his chin. A little bit. You can, if you squint, you can see it. Clem, he's growing up. He's growing up. No longer a boy, turning into a man. It's beautiful. Oh my god. I think Clem, I think he can pull off a mustache. Like, give it a couple of years, he can pull it off, 100%. For now, though, we can see Clem is going for a 1-1-1 proxy starport. This is a good way to abuse some of the features of this map. There is a pocket base, of course, and it's quite difficult to actually have eyes on it. So Clem, I imagine, is going to be going for a Hellion drop into the bases of Nice. We mentioned this before, but it takes 3 Hellions to one-shot a worker. And we're going to be moving out with 4. We're going to be joining up with that proxy, with that medevac, with that Stargate opener. It's going to be a Phoenix. We do have a spotter pylon in the pocket base, but it's not going to be enough. And Nice did not check this Onaga. He doesn't know what's coming. He doesn't know what's coming in. As the Hellions have now been revealed. There is a shield battery. There are some adepts in position. Phoenixes do arrive. Hot pickup though, saving all of those Hellions. And we're going straight for the main base. Oh no, we do pivot away. We pivot to the low ground. The adepts out of position. We get into the mineral line once again. Can we get any more workers? Oh, as we do have a bit of latency. No! As is the clean feed, it's struggling. Clean feed is going to be struggling a little bit. But it looks like the Hellions, for the most part, should be cleaned up. I mean, we have a defensive Oracle as well. We have Adepts about to join in as well. Jump on this. And we should shut this down. Oh. As it looks like we should be coming back. Yeah, there we go. So it looks like we missed out on, looks like we did miss out on like 30 seconds or so, and quickly trying to keep up here. It looks like some workers did go down. Clem does have a worker lead. There it is, 2 perps. Okay, 2 workers. Looks like the Hellion and the medevac were shut down. So Nice dealt with it quite nicely. No pun intended, but he did clean up the army, cleaned up the drop, minimize his losses, and Nice is looking to get away with that 3rd. Looking to get away with that 3rd base. Again, I do apologize for some of the stuttering that's been going on here. We do cast from a clean feed that is provided, and we can't really do much about it if there are some technical issues. What I will say is that this is going to be the last game of this series, and if the buffering does continue, we will be getting into the lobbies of the next one, of the next series. Just as a heads up. Just a heads up. As it looks like we're just going to be easing our way into this game. 3rd base is being taken by Clem at the pocket location. Did work into an abundance of Cyclones just to be defensive initially against all the Phoenixes and Oracles. We're not massing Cyclone or going mech or anything crazy like that. Just enough for defense. Just enough for map control. Again, Cyclones, they do have their place in the early game, in the early to mid game of TVP. So they are in position as we're getting into our bio production. But the aggression has subsided. The aggression has subsided. Clem is getting up to his 3 base economy. So is Nice. Again, we haven't really lost too much. And Nice is working towards Phoenix Colossus, which shouldn't really be too much of a surprise. Robotics Bay is on the way for eventual Colossus production. Phoenixes, they gain map control, shutting down any kind of drop play or aggression. And Nice can play out his game. He can settle into the mid game and go toe-to-toe with Clem while having a good economy. Scan into the main is going to reveal, of course, that we do have the Robotics Bay. Should be seeing that soon. But the scan should be revealing the tech of choice here of Nice. So Clem's going to have a better idea of what's been going on. There it is as that scan. From here, the Phoenix is going to be sharking around outside that natural. Looking for a way in, looking for some worker kills. Alas, there's a missile tower in position. They get 1 SCV, but only 1. Only 1 as Phoenix is going to be shocking around. There are some Widow Mines in position. Oh my god. There are some Widow Mines in position. And Nice has to be very careful there when it comes to his movements. as he does pull back just in time. Again, thankfully he has an Observer in position, as well as an Oracle for Revelation. Yeah, he will pick up those Wonder Mines. He will shut them down before retreating. Colossus production is underway. Likewise, Clem is getting into his own bio production, you know, 1-1. Stim, Combat Shields is all done, +2 now on the horizon, just building up his bio army. Again, I apologize for, it's okay, you know, we've casted slideshows before, it's fine. It's fine, Poppy, don't worry about it. I do apologize, and there isn't really much we can do to alleviate some of those buffering issues. But for now, the Phoenixes do rotate back into the pocket base. They get a couple more SCVs. Thankfully, this isn't affecting the players. The players are playing to their heart's content. It is just the clean feeds connection, and it isn't just us. We're being notified that we have the French casters that are also covering this, that have also been experiencing the same issues. As we are all casting from the same feed. But from here, Phoenix is once again poking in. We do have a Viking production underway. Ghost Academy gets thrown down from Clem, so he's going bio Viking into Ghost. A pretty solid composition here against what he's up against. The Vikings, they can help deal with not just the Phoenixes, but also the Colossi as well. Oh, do you see what I see, though? As that's not just a second Robo in production. That is +1 air attack on the way. We're going to be committing a little bit harder with not just +1 air attack, but that is a second Stargate just now starting up as well. Nice. He's thinking about Skytoss. He's thinking about it. We're not there yet, but it's on the horizon. We'll keep an eye on whether or not a fleet beacon gets thrown down to get into Tempest or Carriers. That is going to be a big possibility here for Nice, especially now that he's getting up to 4-base economy. Like his 4th base is slowly getting up and running. There it it's slowly getting up and running here, and there it is. If you can see on the production tab, that is a fleet beacon on the way. So Nice is working on Skytoss. Do love to see it. He still needs to get his 4th operational though, and there is a window. There is going to be a window here where Nice is going to be vulnerable to Clem, because Clem is soon going to push out. He's just waiting for 2-2 to finish up, and then we should be pushing. This entire time has been contained because of all these Phoenixes, because of the control that Nice has. Clem has been stuck at home outside of the early game, but he's been building up his forces and will soon push out. Now, he is still unawares as to what's happening. He doesn't know about the Skytoss transition. He doesn't know that right now Nice is vulnerable. But regardless, he should soon be pushing. As we have a 4th CC on the way. Again, the latency there a little bit. Oh, as we jump forward in time. Looks like we jumped forward a couple of minutes here, actually. As we were talking about, oh, the Skytoss is coming. The Skytoss is here. We have Carriers already out for Nice. Clem on 4 bases. Nice, working on his 5th even. I think we jumped forward like 2 minutes or something. But yeah, it looks like the stream just suddenly, the feed, sorry, suddenly caught up after all that buffering. So it looks like Clem did push out, but Nice was able to get into his Carriers just in time. He's got Disruptors to support. Clem looking for a way in. Good EMP. Good EMP going to be kiting back here against the Skytoss, against the Colossi as well. Pretty good shots going to be going off. Phoenixes are going to be, they are going to be going down as well. But we will chase this back. Again, the kiting from Clem avoiding any of those carrier shots or the interceptors. Never goes off, taking down one of those ghosts. Oh. As we are going to be spitting off a massive Doom Drop to go straight into the main base. There are Stalkers in position, the Phoenixes as well. No! And one full medevac is going to go down. Big pick off there. From Nice. Nice has maxed out. Clem still building up his Viking count. He's got 2 more starports on the way. What I will say, though, thankfully, is it looks like the latency issues have cleared up. Ah, so smooth sailings for now. I just jinxed it. But we do see 2 more Stargates on the way. A 3rd Robo as well from Nice. Both players just building up their productions to be able to remax and rebuild very quickly as soon as the fight goes either way. As soon as the fight does occur. But again, Clem, he's got so many Vikings. How many is that? That's like, what, over 20, 100%. Jesus. Meanwhile, he's just working on +3 ship weapons, a Neo Steel frame, high-sec auto tracking. Likewise, nice working on additional forges to get into all those upgrades, shield upgrades more importantly, to help affect his Sky Toss. Looks like we are on 6 carriers. No Tempest. I mean, Tempest I don't think are very necessary at the moment. Especially against all these Vikings. Let's here we go, we're diving on in. Stalker's putting in a lot of work on those Vikings. Likewise, they do focus down some of those Phoenixes. Then rotating back around. It does get a Colossus. Does get 2. Every single Colossus goes down. Big pickoffs. Novas go off, but they do not connect. Again, we do need to replace those Colossi with Disruptors. We only have 3. Only 3. Nova goes off. Oh! Takes down the Cyclone. Not bad. As we're going to be committing. Carriers are going to start falling. Expensive losses for Nice. Clem pushing forward, and Nova does zone away the ground army, and now the Vikings are being annihilated. Oh my god, so many Vikings go down. A very nice trade from Nice. He did lose 2 carriers in the process, but he killed 34 Vikings. Oh my god. That was a lot of Vikings. That was a lot. And Clem is rebuilding, remaxing 8 Vikings at a time. This time, though, +2 vehicle armor is going to be done. +3 ship weapons still on the way. So he doesn't have the most ideal Vikings yet, but he's getting there. He has, of course, Vikings as his main army. He should have Ghosts and, of course, a Bioforce to support on the ground. For those EMPs. Liberator range on the way. To help deal and zone away with the ground army of Nice. Oof. As these Stalkers, they do have to be very careful. Templar Archives just now on the way. I'm surprised that the Templar Archives just finished. I was going to say earlier that I'm a little bit surprised that we didn't really have too many Archons, but yeah, we're going to be working on that. We do kite against some of those Phoenixes, bleeding out quite a lot of them actually. 3 Phoenixes go down, they do get 1 shot. Clem backing off. Again, both players have maxed. The Zealot run by running into the army. A little bit unfortunate. There it is, Storm is on the way. Storm has potential. I say potential because obviously EMPs counteract Storms, as Clem is trying to take the gold. So what, 1 Zealot denying mining. Well, Clem, he does have the better economy. He has the gold, he has mules. Up in bases, up 1 base compared to Nice. On 7 compared to 6 of the Protoss. We're pushing in once again. Clem is maxed out, his upgrades are done. On +3 ship weapons, working on +3 vehicle armor. And there we go, we're committing, and the carriers are going to go down one after the other. Too many Vikings. The Storms, they're just too late. 1 carrier survives, and we barely lose any Vikings this time. And Nice, Cole with his pants down, and after losing that army, now we can push in. We can push forward. I was going to try to go up here. They're going for the Ghosts. Oh, not quite. Ghosts, they do pull back in time. Yeah, these Novas, they don't connect, and soon we can just dive. Yeah, the Nexus is going to fall. Very slow, very meticulous play there from Clem. Takes down the mineral line. And Nice has to give it up. Does have to give it up. As Vikings are pushing forward, there aren't enough Stalkers. Yeah, we can just focus on the carriers one after the other. From here, Nice gonna have to transition to ground toss. Immortals are on the way. But the Vikings, they can land. They can shoot down, kind of. They can shoot straight ahead. As the Liberators have arrived, we have freedom. The freedom is here. Storms aren't looking too bad, but here come the Vikings. They're waddling in. Look to the east of the Vikings. They have arrived. We have reinforcing carriers, but there are just too many Vikings here. They shut them down one after the other. Pulling back the Skytoss. Oh, Skytoss is good, but what about Sky Terran? That's better. As we have the Vikings, we have the Liberators as well. One carrier left, 0 carriers remaining. And the ground army cannot touch this, not with this much freedom. Not with this many liberation zones. From here, the Vikings land, they can have their way with a base. We are making 4 carriers at a time, but that pales in comparison to how many Vikings we're making behind this. Oh my god. Stalkers try to blink on forward. They try. But fighting in these zones is brutal, and the ground army is just getting bullied back. Oh my god, so many Stalkers go down. Here come the reinforcements. We have the overcharge, but this Nexus should go down. We have 4 carriers on the way, but they're still in production. And GG is going to get called. Clem breaks him, and Clem will take the 2-0, and we get the 6-0 win for Team Liquid. GG, well played. But a big shout out to Nice, again, taking advantage of the map. Radisson Station is known for its late game play. It's known for, again, Sky Terran versus Sky Protoss. This wasn't as fancy as what Maru did yesterday, with Maru going into BCs, but Clem did very well for himself nonetheless. There were some opportunities here for Nice where he was able to win a fight earlier, if you remember, when he reset the Viking count. That was very impressive. But after that, he was neglecting his Stalkers. He was neglecting his ground support. Did have late Storm. The Storm wasn't there in time. And at one point, once the carrier count got reset, we were never able to get it up and running. GG, well played. And with that wraps up Team Liquid versus Starlight Twinkle. We're going to be going on a short break. When we return, we have our final best of 7 of the night. It's going to be Mystery Gaming versus Kwang Dong Freaks. See you soon.